Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Bayan here to bring you another lesson. Prior to getting started, I want to give infinite honors and prayers unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, you Akwath, with you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. All right, and shalom. Okay, and for this lesson here is going to be a continuation of the series I'm doing, Back to the Basics. Okay, and for this topic of Back to the Basics is going to be free will. Okay, and how free will doesn't exist. Okay, you have to know this. Basic milk scriptures. If you know some of these, it's a good refresher. If you don't know, just about to pull up some ammo, some spiritual ammo for you to be able to cut this free will thing. All right. Free will is pretty much taught with that Jesus concept of Jesus died for our sins. So basically, you can do whatever you want. You have the will, the free will to do whatever you want, which is bullshit. Apostle Paul tells you that, no man have license to sin. All right. So also too, just about to grab some scriptures. I'm talking too much, but let me just jump straight into it. All right. Let you know that the Lord run this thing, man. All right. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 1. All right. Starting at the top, it says, "He that liveth forever." Select, let this light go by. It says, "He that liveth forever hath created all things in general. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he, who governed the world with the palm of his hand." All right. To govern means to control. Okay. Who governed the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. All right. Not some things, not some people. All right. All things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. Okay. And that's plain and simple, man. All right. Just out the gate, he's telling you the Lord only is righteous. All right. And he governed, or he controls the world. All right. With the palm of his hand. All right. And that's plain and simple. All things obey his will. You can't get away from the Lord. You can't run from the Lord. All right. And that's plain and simple. It ain't really too much else to break down about that, man. Okay. But the next one I have on deck right here is the book of Job. I got a couple in Job, but I'm gonna grab this one and probably jump somewhere else and then jump back into Job. It's just how I got it. But just explaining, how man has their instructions written to them. All right. Again, furthermore, cutting a free will. All right. The Lord gives you your instructions, about what you're going to do in your daily life. If you're going to wake up first and foremost. All right. That's a big thing. You don't even know if you're going to wake up. You might die in your sleep, but when the moment that you wake up and the moment that you go about to go do what you're going to do, the Lord already had that planned out. All right. And, men in the truth have, their accounts of finding the truth. Jake might have woke up one day and made one wrong turn and ran into the men of the Lord on the block. All right. That was destined to happen. All right. That was written in your instructions to happen. Jake will probably tell you, like, man, I didn't expect to do this shit. I don't even come this way. But somehow I'm just being taught everything that I wanted to know, and that's because the Lord, wrote that in your instructions. But here's Job 33:15. It says, "In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumbering upon the bed, then he opened the ears of men and sealeth their instructions, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man." All right. We know that the Lord hates pride. All right. And to say that you have free will, that's a prideful ass, thing to say. Basically, I could do whatever the fuck I want. All right. And again, that's not the case, man. All right. If I could do whatever I want, if everything was my way, that means basically you wouldn't need the Lord. All right. So again, to hide pride from man, the Lord write these instructions in you know, you just gotta go with it. I mean, you have no choice at the end of the day. All right, that the Lord wrote those instructions for you to go about and, you know, do the things that he wants you to do. All right, again, to hide pride from man. All right, plain and simple. Next, I'm gonna jump into the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 23. It says, "O Lord, I know the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps." All right. "O Lord, correct me, but with judgment, not in thine anger, lest thou bring me to nothing." All right. But the point being, the way of man is not in himself. All right. We don't control shit, man. The Lord is the orchestrator. This is the Lord's story. And I forget what they call it. The ventriloquist. All right. Everything we do, man, from that fight that you got in that you probably whooped the nigga ass, or that fight that you probably lost. Hey, it was written in your instructions that night. You was supposed to get your ass whooped, or you was supposed to whoop some ass. All right. You know, that's why everything always go back to the Lord. All right. Whether it's your struggle, whether it's some type of ailment that you have, you know, some type of sickness, you know, the time that you fall short and the times that you're doing great. It all goes back to the Lord. That's why you give praises to the Lord no matter the situation. All right. You down on your knees crying, you know, because you lost something or you broke something. Hey, man, you better still thank the Lord behind that. All right. Because it could have been way worse. All right. And just be thankful that the instructions was written for that to happen and not for you to die. All right. But even, you know, we understand death. All right. And that will be something, honestly, you know, Lord willing, I could get off, but something in the next back to the basics. But one more time, Jeremiah 10 and 23. "O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps." All right. The Lord directs everything. He's the director. All right. So now I'm going to jump to Psalms 94. Psalms 94 and 11. It says, "The Lord knoweth the thoughts of man, that they are vanity." Come on, man. The Lord know the thoughts of man. All right. Again, Jake could be doing some fucked up shit if we, you know, if we were to ourselves, you know. That's why we need the Lord. All right. We would err completely off if Jake had everything their own way, you know. Things has to be done decently in order, man. And the Lord, he directs that, you know. He keeps everything in order, you know. From the way that the earth is built, you know, from I forget the precept. It talks about, you know, that the water has its bounds that it just can't pass. You know, that's why they got beaches. You know, the Lord could flood this whole thing if he wanted to, because he did it before. But he got bounds, you know, that even parts of the earth can't pass. So how much more man? Come on, man. But one more time, Psalms 94 and 11, "The Lord knoweth the thoughts of man, that they are vanity." All right, that point right there is just showing that, you know, again, if niggas was to have their own way, it'd be crazy. It'd be some crazy things going on. All right. But next is Proverbs. These are some of my favorites right here. Proverbs got that smoke. This is Proverbs 16 and 1, starting at the top. It says, "The preparations of the heart in man, the answer of the tongue is from the Lord." Come on, man. Right? Which we know is the if you don't know, your heart goes back into your mind. All right, your la'ab. Okay. So the preparations of the mind, you can replace that word heart with mind in man, and the answer of the tongue, all right, is from the Lord. All right. The words that come out of your mouth, you know, that moment that you think that you done spit game to a little bad thing. You hear me? That right there, that's the words of the Lord coming through you, man. All right. And you got, that's why you give all glory to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, man, no matter what. Again, you know, I gotta say that. All right. But it says, all the ways of man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord with no, my bad. That fits. All the ways of man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord with the spirits. But the one I wanted to get was, this is down a little bit more. I know it's in 16. Oh, yeah, I could have read 2. Proverbs 16:3. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. All right. Here you go. Proverbs 16:9. It says, a man's heart devised his way, all right, but the Lord directed his steps. Plain. A man's heart, all right, again, your heart goes back into your la'ab, all right. You might think that you're thinking of this plan, but that's the Lord's thoughts. That's the Lord putting those thoughts in your head. All right. The Lord is putting those thoughts in your head, but it says the Lord directed his steps. All right. You could think about all of these things that you want to do, but only certain things are going to get done, and that's what the Lord wanted to happen. All right. Got a couple more. Still in the book of Proverbs. I'm gonna jump to Proverbs 21. Proverbs 21:2, it says, every way of man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. All right. Every way of man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth his hearts. All right. Again, the Lord got control of that, man. I'm gonna jump into Romans now. And I'm gonna finish it off with Job. Job got some smoke for this last one. I'm gonna end it off with what I just said, Romans 9:15. All right. For he said, Moses, I could have started a little bit more. I'm gonna just get to the point. This is in Romans 9:15. It says, for he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God, of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai that showeth mercy. Okay? The Lord is the only person that could show you mercy. All right? You can't just say that, hey, I got mercy today. I did that. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's some prideful shit. I don't need the Lord. I can give my own self mercy. I done did wrong all my life, and I'm the one that can set everything right. No, that's blasphemy. Come on, man. The Lord gives you that mercy, so that's why all praises got to go to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai at all times, man. I got to say that again. All praises go to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right. This is somebody that has control of your life, and you don't know. You truly don't know what's going to happen the next day, So that's why you got to continue to pray. Thank the Lord when you wake up, man. Every day is a new thing in itself. It's a blessing in itself. It's another day to work. The moment that you wake up and take that breath, oh man, I'm back. It's still work to do. The Lord still ain't come back. But one more time, it says Romans 9:15. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai that showeth mercy. All right. But I'm going to end it off right here with the book of Job, chapter 20. Was that 9? My bad. Job 23. Job 23. And I'm gonna see if I can grab it in the NLT, because my other NLT has some smoke. Job 23. You know, and it's a reason why, you know, you got to have that fear, man. That fear in the Lord, man. Because you never know what's going to happen. You know, we all sin so much that, you know, one of these days, you know, one of those sins might catch up with you and the Lord might do you something bad. You know, you got to have that fear, you know. But it says, Job 23:14, it says, for he performeth the thing that is appointed for me, and many such things are with him. All right. Therefore am I troubled at his presence. When I consider, I am afraid of him. For God maketh my heart soft, and the Almighty troubles me. All right. In the NLT it says, so he will do to me whatever he has planned. He controls my destiny. No wonder I am so terrified in his presence. When I think of it, terror grips me. God has made me sick at heart. The Almighty has me terrified. Come on, man. That's some terrifying things, man. Because again, you don't know what's coming the next day, dog. And that's why you have to move with fear and trembling. All right. You work with fear and trembling. You know, working out your own salvation. Okay. Because again, you don't know what the Lord has planned. You know. That's why we are the hopeful elect. If we have free will, everybody be saying, I'm the elect. You know. If it was free will, you know, everybody be like, man, I'm saved already. You know, what are you talking about? I got free will. I can do what I want. And I say that I'm saved. You know, that's stupid. You know? But again, it's smoking the NLT, man. Job 23:14. So he will do to me whatever he has planned. He controls my destiny. The Lord controls our destiny, man. All right? I'm thinking about, you know, the many are called, few are chosen. You know? That's another one right there. You know, the fact that many men are called to this truth, but only few are chosen. So I guarantee those many that were called, they probably thought they were of the elect, you know, but probably ain't passed the you know, passed through their trials and tribulations, you know, probably fell short, probably took their hands off the plow, went back into the world, all these things. All right. But I guarantee that wasn't part of the plan coming into this thing, you know. So, again, man, put some respect on the Lord, man. No such thing as free will. All right? All things go through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right? But that's pretty much what I got for this. You know, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Prior to getting out of here, I want to give infinite honors and prayers unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Ruchachodash, that belongs to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, you Akim, you Akwat, with you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. In Shalom.